The creation of art, and especially painting, is often a solitary pursuit, but a new project called Portrait Connection is giving local artists a chance to work with children who are facing difficult challenges and leaving their families with a piece of art that marks a specific moment in time. Central Oregon Daily's Anissa Bohannon followed two artists and the families of two children as they prepare for what is sure to be an emotional unveiling in downtown Bend tomorrow night.
3-year-old Lucy and 8-year-old Strider have struggled with severe medical disorders for most of their young lives.
Lucy has a condition called DDX3X. It's a neurological genetic disorder that she was born with, and she's kind of been slow to meet her milestones. So now at the age of 3.5, she's about probably more like a 9-month-old or a 12-month-old. So she's not walking yet, nonverbal, but she's making really good progress, and we'll hopefully be walking here in the near future.
Keep him, jump.
When he was 4, almost 4, he went into the Mayo Clinic and did a sleep study and had an EEG at the same time. And I was sitting there talking to him in the evening time, and he was communicating with me, but they showed me the next day he was having seizures as I was communicating with him and had no idea. And later we determined he had a rare type of epilepsy and was having spikes every 1 to 2 seconds while he was sleeping.
Over time, Strider was also diagnosed with an unknown connective tissue disorder, as well as several other disorders that affect everything in his body. Eventually, he'll need to see a specialist for surgery clear across the country.
We tried seeing doctors here, and he actually had it scheduled for March 15th, and with a doctor at Shriners and also OHSU, because he's got a lot of vascular issues that come with it. He's got skin conditions, his skin rips really easily, he gets staph infections and all kinds of stuff. But so the doctor kind of determined that he doesn't know that he could fix it.
Both Strider and Lucy rely heavily on their families for support, including their siblings.
How does this kind of affect your family life? I know you have two other tiny kiddos.
It's busy. We do a lot of therapy and lots of extra doctor's appointments, but she's easy in some ways because she's still not able to get into stuff, but it definitely makes us a busier family. I feel very fortunate that I'm able to be home with my children, and so it is nice, but as soon as you clean your house, you're cleaning it again because it's a mess. It's just a job that never ends.
It's difficult because, my 17-year-old daughter, to her, he's getting all the attention, but I mean, we have to keep him alive. It's a big balancing act. It's really tough to try and make sure she's getting what she's needing and he's getting what he's needing.
This year, Strider and Lucy were chosen to be part of a very special project through a group called Portrait Connection, a nonprofit organization that connects children with severe medical challenges to local artists who will provide a portrait of the child. For the first time this year, Portrait Connection partnered 12 children with 12 artists, most from Central Oregon, to paint the children's likeness before presenting them in Bend later this week. The artists for Portrait Connection have never met their subjects. Instead, the families provide pictures of the children that the artists work from.
That's actually me. My mom painted that.
What?
Yeah.
Local mother and son Laurel and Travis Knight are 2 of the 12 artists and have been partnered up with families here in Bend.
Elaine actually contacted me, emailed me. I think she found me through a local artist, and she was already in the process of kind of bringing them all together, and she reached out and asked if it was something I wanted to be a part of.
To see Travis and I together, he's the one that told me about it, and he said, "Ma, we ought to do this. This would be awesome." And he knows that not only do I love doing portraits, but children's portraits. So as we were painting, and he would send me pictures and, showing how we were progressing, we both just said, this is something we want to do long term.
Laurel and Knight have been artists all their lives, but painting someone without meeting them comes with its fair share of challenges, even for the professionals.
With this, when you don't meet the child, or if you don't know the client or the portrait that you're painting, it's more their mannerisms, and some of the things about how they smile or laugh and whatnot. So it's good to have multiple photo reference, because then you can kind of capture them and see their personality and how they might be if they were, in the room with you. So I think the biggest challenge is just trying to absolutely capture what everybody that knows them will know. So when they see the picture, they'll say, yeah, that's true to life. captures their dimple or their smile or something specific about them.
This Friday, the families and their artists will be united for the first time and presented with their very own portrait, something the families say is a once-in-a-lifetime honor.
I'm way excited because, we don't really have hardly any art, let alone pictures of the kids unless they're school pictures. And I have a blank wall right there ready.
I can feel firsthand how hard it is to have a special needs child. But for me, watching these little kids and seeing all the different portraits and how each of us artists portray them differently, it's special. It gives these parents something of a moment in time, like a capture, just that special moment.
The artist family meeting, as well as the unveiling of the portraits, will take place at Layer Art and Supply on Wall Street tomorrow night, starting at 5 p.m. And we will show you the reactions of the families when they see the paintings for the first time tomorrow at 6 and 7 on Central Oregon Daily. The show will remain open through the month and will be used to raise awareness about the struggles of neighboring families. Lisa.
Anissa, what a lovely collaboration of artists and parents and bringing it all together.
Just absolutely beautiful. And I have actually gotten to see the paintings already.
And?
I will not let anything slip, but I think that everyone should go and see them for themselves.
Thanks so much, Anissa.
Sure.
For more stories that matter to you, watch Central Oregon Daily on KOHD ABC, KBNZ CBS, and CentralOregonDaily.com.
The creation of art, and especially painting, is often a solitary pursuit, but a new project called Portrait Connection is giving local artists a chance to work with children who are facing difficult challenges and leaving their families with a piece of art that marks a specific moment in time. Central Oregon Daily's Anissa Bohannon followed two artists and the families of two children, and she joins us now from the scene of an emotional unveiling that happened tonight in downtown Bend.
Well, Lisa, I bet you guys are wondering what I'm doing downtown right now, but it all has to do with a story that we first gave you guys last night about those medically challenged children that were partnered up through an organization called Portrait Connection. Now, through that nonprofit organization, children are partnered with artists here in Central Oregon, and the artists have never met the families have never met the artists. They simply send in a photo and have their portraits done in either watercolor or oil, painted entirely by this artist. Tonight, we actually got to see the unveilings, emotional as they were happening with those families. And first up, we have Travis Knight with Strider's portrait. Go ahead and take a look. Strider, of course, as well as Keebler, his service dog, really enjoyed their portrait. And of course, we also had several other portraits. And the other story that we covered yesterday was that of 3.5-year-old Lucy, who has a cognitive disorder. Go ahead and take a look here at Laurel Knight's portrait of her.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness. Adorable. We've been trying really hard to help her.
So everyone here tonight, emotional, happy, ecstatic about finally getting these portraits unveiled. We got to see the artists and the families interact. It's been wonderful all around. I've been following this story for about a month. If you are an artist or you would like to have a family nominated or one of your children would like to be a part of Portrait Connection, you can go ahead and go over to their website at portraitconnection.org. Lisa.
Anissa, thank you so much for that touching story.
For more stories that matter to you, watch Central Oregon Daily on KOHD ABC, KBNZ CBS, and CentralOregonDaily.com.